Another disturbance of history, watching these kids go to this Walmart wearing what they're wearing. For one, they only know about this from the shit people have taught them or from some kind of history class. And they probably wanted to know about history and dig deep and deep and deep. Because anybody decide to search for something with the right lead, this and that, whatever, you eventually get some kind of answers depending on how far you want to, take it and willing to dig. So when you think about these kids, because they're only probably, they still look like they're in high school, put it that way. They wasn't, born into this. So they actually have to learn about it or be taught it.
We all dropped out of high school, it's okay.
If I still don't think it's appropriate for you guys to be doing this. It's really not funny. This is a hate crime.
We all dropped out of high school, it's okay.
If I still don't think it's appropriate for you guys.
So y'all remember about this girl, for the ones who watched the video I posted, the whole video. Also, if you heard about this somewhere else, I didn't know she assaulted the police officer. The public intoxication and the shit we saw, whatever. But, damn, when the police got there, she was still turned up. Now, this is how you know she's one of them people who shouldn't drink, because she's filled with rage. For some kind of reason, alcohol seems to trigger her. And, you got folks like that who can't drink alcohol because their rage inside of them, once they had a little, how can I say it, motivation to be negative, and that's what the alcohol did. It activated that shit. But now I heard of this guy called Ted Bundy, but I never really knew about this guy named Ted Bundy. Not saying I want to get to know the guy. Well, let's just hear a little bit about the guy. For those that know, cool. Enlighten me more of what this content I'm about to show, that we actually about to watch, I should say, doesn't display or talk about. But he is a sick, crazy motherfucker. So,
I have got to keep myself together. I have got to stay calm. I've got to keep my presence of mind, because as long as I do that, I'm going to beat these people.
Ted Bundy is undoubtedly one of the most prolific serial killers of all time. These are the most chilling moments from his first jailhouse interview in 1977, recorded just months before he escaped and went on to kill again. During the 1970s, Bundy murdered more than 30 girls and women across the United States. He often approached his victims by pretending to be injured and asking for their help before knocking them out and taking them to a private location to assault, beat, and strangle them. No one knows exactly when he began killing, but it was years before he made a critical mistake. In 1974, he lured 18-year-old Carol DaRonch into his car and tried to knock her out with a crowbar, but she fought for her life and managed to escape. This incident led to his first capture in 1975 and his first jailhouse interview in 1977.
You are not guilty.
I'm not guilty. Does that include the time I stole a comic book when I was 5 years old? I am not guilty of the charges which have been filed against me.
At this point, Bundy had already been tried and sentenced for DaRonch's attempted kidnapping and assault. While on trial, investigators had also connected him to a spree of recent murders, leading to a new charge against him for the killing of Karen Campbell. Bundy insisted he was innocent, called Carol DaRonch a liar, and claimed the police were letting him take the fall for crimes he never committed.
I wasn't going to give these people who went out and built a case around a non-existent eyewitness, I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break down. But I kept it together because there's no point in destroying myself. I have got to keep myself together. I have got to stay calm. I've got to keep my presence of mind, because as long as I do that, I'm going to beat these people.
Underneath
now, y'all know my channel, we don't talk negative, but this the type of motherfucker who do not, and I repeat, do not need to be out here with the rest of us. Definitely these women. If this is how you is, and he is a smooth talking motherfucker, I am not gonna lie. I will probably get out and help him if I hear him talk to it, and bam, he ain't fucking Jeffrey Dahmer my ass or some shit. But Man, this motherfucker's sick.
Underneath all of Bundy's manipulative charisma, this may have been an honest statement about how he saw the police. His biographer described him as a sadistic sociopath who took pleasure from another human's pain and the control he had over his victims. But for years, he'd gotten away with horrific crimes by keeping his cool and pretending to be just like everyone else.
Are you angry?
Sure, I get angry. Very, very angry and indignant. I don't like being locked up for something I didn't do, and I don't like my liberty taken away, and I don't like being treated like an animal, and I don't like people walking around and ogling me like I'm some sort of weirdo, because I'm not.
I know he didn't just say he don't want people to think he's some kind of weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, let me fix myself. Yeah, like I'm some sort of weirdo because I'm not. Motherfucker, you is a weirdo, bro. You fucked up. You are that shit, bro. I don't even know what type of fucking parents you had growing up, but they fucking goddamn didn't raise you right or something, because you was fucked up. Like, anybody who act like that, think like that, smooth like that just to do some dirt, bro, you just don't need to be fucking around. Oh, God, because you just all the way fucked up. Like,
this interviewer had no way of knowing Bundy would escape from jail and go on to murder at least 6 more times before his ultimate capture in 1978. So it's chilling to hear him ask,
Do you ever feel like...
So this motherfucker done got out, kidnapped 6 girls and murdered them before he got caught again. Y'all see what I'm talking about? This is my first time detailing who the fuck Ted Bundy is. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfucker is sick. God damn, he was a sick individual. And I feel sorry for them 30 plus women that came across this guy's path. And it was just a very hard disaster, all that shit. Because that's not good for nobody to encounter some motherfucker like him. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever feel like you'd like to escape?
Most every man, when he first goes in there, dreams and thinks and conjures up all kinds of ideas of freedom. But the real difference, the real measure of a man in prison, as far as escape goes, is the difference between hitting that fence and not hitting that fence. Between getting shot at and not getting shot at, and having the guts to do it and not having the guts to do it. I'm no fool. I don't like being locked up, and I don't think any man does.
Unfortunately for Ted, he would stay locked up for the next 11 years, until his execution by electric chair in 1989. It was a day that many people around the world celebrated with relish.
And that is exactly what people like him deserve, for the simple fact, this dude escaped jail just to do the same shit he was doing. And then just how he was talking, acting. I wonder if those guys that be in jail, that fuck up cats, you know what I'm saying, that be going in there on shit like this, I wonder if anybody got to him. But then again, you ask yourself, like, what the hell happened? This shit happened in 1978. I thought this was like some 1980, 90 shit. 2000, you know what I'm saying? That's what I thought. But then again, I don't know. It's just sad to see that, you know, what this happened in 78. Yeah, 11. Yeah, 1990. I was right, yeah. So, yeah. Man, this shit crazy. So, with that being said, you know what I'm saying? 1990, this nigga finally got what he deserved. And, excuse me, got choked up a little bit. I got a little cold if y'all don't know that. But, I can't believe that shit. 1990. He finally got what he deserved, and he been doing that for so long. That's crazy, man. That shit hella crazy. And let this be a lesson to y'all to be careful. Like I said, definitely women. Like, I helped a woman before, but in the long run, it cost me so much money because of what happened. I would have been an asshole not to get out and help. But in the long run, it costed me. But I guess if I saved a life, you can't put a price on that. So it is what it is. I'm happy I still did it, though.
This story out of California is nuts. It all went down at a police station about an hour east of LA. As a cop pulls his car into a secure parking area at the station, guy in a Dodge Charger immediately tails behind him past the security gate. The cop car parks, and an employee comes out to speak to the officer inside. A guy then runs out of the Charger with what appears to be an AR-15 style rifle in hand. As soon as the officer notices the guy with the gun, the guy starts to run back to his car. And when the officer gets out of his car, the guy turns around and aims his rifle again. That guy is then shot by police and falls to the ground. The whole thing is over in just under a minute. Fortunately, no police were harmed, and the gunman was taken to the hospital. Police say that man wasn't carrying a real weapon after all. It was an AR-15 style paintball gun. Cops are still investigating everything that went down, but once the guy's out of the hospital, he'll be arrested and will face a felony charge.
Alright, so I hope, well, it wasn't one of them orbit guns, but at the same time, I hope this ain't gonna be no new trend where people who are suicidal start doing stupid shit like this so they can be killed, you know. And everybody gotta be careful, definitely these police officers, because another kid just shot a police officer with a toy gun and he killed them. The same thing just happened to these officers. So it's like, I mean, I feel bad for a lot of people who are in the law office, being a law officer, I should say. Just for the simple fact, so much is targeted and so much is on them. For the good ones, and for the bad ones that's making the good ones look bad. Shit like this can get a lot of people hurt. And I hope this do not be something new that a lot of stupid motherfuckers starting to pick up and start doing.
We don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
This is what it looks like when a killer pretends to be innocent. Today we're breaking down 2 disturbing interviews given by murderers before they were caught for their horrible crimes. Number 1. Stephen McDaniel.
She's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much people person.
In 2011, 25-year-old Stephen McDaniel is being interviewed by a local news channel about the disappearance of his neighbor, a 27-year-old law student named Lauren Giddings. The interviewer doesn't know that Stephen had been stalking Lauren for months, secretly recording her, and just days before this, he had broken into her apartment, strangled her, and cut her body into 5 pieces. He plays the part of a concerned friend, until he finds out, on air, that part of her body has been found.
I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? That's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
At this point, police...
Damn, y'all see how he, when the news reporter was like, well, the body parts that had not been found, this and this, that motherfucker couldn't even talk no more, man. What the fuck going on? The cat got your tongue? You can't talk no more? He up here talking about what?
At this point, police have already identified Stephen as a person of interest. He had scratches on his face that he claimed were self-inflicted in his sleep. He tries to play innocent by giving a second, more distressed interview.
Why would anyone do this?
And by agreeing to let the police search his apartment, where they find overwhelming evidence connecting him to the crime, including a flash drive containing hundreds of the victim's personal photos, a pair of her underwear, a stolen master key to their apartment complex, and a package for a handsaw. Police later found disturbing searches in his web history, including the phrases, choked unconscious, how long wake up, and prison escape. Police took him in for questioning, and the footage went viral for a creepy reason. In more than 2 hours, Stephen barely moved a muscle. Stephen eventually pled guilty to Lauren's murder and was sentenced to life in prison.
Well, he definitely got what the fuck he deserved, because for the simple fact, how in the hell you go in her crib stealing her pictures, her underwear? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what the hell? How somebody could be unconscious? Just all this crazy shit that you don't need to be motherfucking having and searching. Like that just let you know for the simple fact that motherfucker was part of the whole damn thing. His ass did it. And he was just sitting there, not even motherfucking moving or nothing. Just goddamn just there. All that fake ass crying, sobbing you doing, boy, you better shut that shit up and do your goddamn time.
Number 2, Chris Watts.
It's just earth-shattering. I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from.
On August 13th, 2018, Shanann Watts and her 2 young daughters went missing. The next day, her husband Chris spoke to the news. His behavior in the interviews is strange. He's trying to act concerned, but he often appears to be holding back a smile. He would later confess to strangling his pregnant wife and smothering his children to death before disposing of their bodies at an oil field.
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back.
8 hours after
How in the fuck? You show no emotion, no tears, no nothing, my boy. You show nothing. Like, look at your face. You just looking like, oh, well, what happened to him? Well, damn. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you want to leave me. He probably got another female or some shit like that. Because that's how them stupid motherfuckers be. Instead of just going ahead and just letting it be what it be, they be want to kill motherfuckers, try to cover it up, and your dumb ass get caught. It's like, just break up, get a divorce, go your separate ways, quit being on that stupid, crazy, weirdo shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. It's a lot of people out here like that too, and y'all gotta be careful.
8 hours after the crime, the police showed up at his front door. The officer was there to conduct a welfare check requested by Shanann's friend, Nicole Atkinson.
I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning, and I'm just really, really concerned. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning, and she didn't go to it.
Body camera footage from the welfare check shows Chris acting very disinterested in finding his missing family, until a neighbor pulls up footage from his motion-activated security camera, when Chris becomes visibly nervous. He is watching himself load the bodies of his family into his truck. The neighbor is obviously concerned and voices his suspicions to the police.
No.
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks.
Under police questioning, Chris failed a polygraph test and eventually confessed to killing his family so he could start a new life with his mistress. He pled guilty and was sentenced to multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Now, this loser should have been number 1. For the simple fact you was married, had a baby, and kids and shit, and you went and did some dumb fucking shit like this. Like, how can you build yourself up to do this to your family? Definitely your fucking kids. Them guys in there, y'all gonna become well friends, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just all the way fucked up. Like, you fucking kill your kids and your fucking wife, man. That's the crazy thing is, like, you never know what someone might think. Like, this make you just want to be single for the rest of your life when you hear shit like this. Like, I ain't even bullshit. When you hear crazy shit like this, make you not want to be with nobody. But then it's like you don't want to be alone. And then if you got somebody you vibing with and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Love is crazy anyway.
Relapse.